Okay, welcome back to the stream, guys. Dear207 with you. Happy Friday the 24th. Hope you are doing well. We're back here. Sorry it's a little late. Was just trying to get some major lag issues figured out because we just was not streaming well at all. Or even, not even just streaming, just running in even just single player without OBS running. I was stuttering severely through here. The first load in, actually, all my cars derailed, just sitting there, so I got fairly frustrated at trains pretty quickly today, and it's been testing my patience. Let me just make sure my audio is good, or even not even just streaming, just okay. So yeah, so it's been thoroughly frustrating the hell out of me, but alas, here we are. So I haven't touched anything. I actually wanted to get a couple trains built to AI them, to kind of go off and do their own thing. And actually I realized I dispatched the trash train the wrong way. I sent that train to... Hi, Toby. Oh, pretty boy. I sent that train to North Anson when I believe I should have sent it to Farmington, I'm pretty sure. And I'm actually going to double check that real quick, because pretty sure we need that to go to Farmington, because that would it's just a through train. So I'm gonna double check that real quick. Yeah, that was supposed to go to Farmington, and I sent that to North Anson, so I can say it went that way or whatever. It's no big deal. So we need to do a few things here before too long, and I'm probably gonna stay on here for about 2 hours or so before I get off and maybe go get some food. Because obviously we need to break down this long consist here, but we also need to get this consist set up and ready to head out. And the big thing is we need to remove the current car tags on it and get the new car, or the destination tags on them, because they're not heading to these destinations anymore. They've already been here and they've been serviced. So we need to figure out exactly where are these cars going from here. Most of them are bound for Pan Am in Waterville, so they're just heading to North Anson, and they're going to go and they're going to carry on towards Pan Am. I'm sorry, I keep saying Pan Am. They're going to carry on towards CSX, and they're from CSX they're going to go down to Portland or wherever, and then continue on from there. But these cars are, most of them are bound for Waterville, so that's exactly where they're going to be heading. So I need to put those car tags on here, and it's basically just going to be WV and then CSX, which is just Waterville CSX. Just want to make sure that is exactly our code that we use. Yep, Waterville is just Messalonsky Yard, or I could just simply put WV, which should signify that these cars are bound for interchange. So we're going to go in here and let trains do its pre-cache, because, you know, love a pre-cache. So I could just simply, I could leave SCB. I'm just going to also type in Waterville. Or I could just simply put Waterville, since they're just bound for interchange. It doesn't really matter where they came from, I suppose. But I guess I could just leave where they're coming from, just so I know that these cars have come from Sappy North America. This is bound for Northern Main Junction. Actually, no, this is heading to Portland too, so that's going to go to Waterville. And this will also go to Waterville. That tanker, however, is going to be bound for the milk processing facility. So I'll need to grab that code real quick, and that's actually a code I don't know. Let's see, that's along the Carrabassett. That actually doesn't have an industry code, but we could just put NDT, which would be Norwich Walk Dairy Tank. This is heading to Hoodlet's Sawmill along the Bigelow. We actually got to go buy it on the way by, but that serves down in North Anson, so that's going to be HOL for log rack. So this is just a bit of housekeeping, just so way we know where these cars are going once they get to where they be, or once where they be. Yep, that's good English. I might just go ahead and just put these down as Waterville. I don't know, I'll have to figure out exactly how we label them after the fact. But usually if they're coming in with a car tag, they just, you know, or just a industry tag, then that generally means that they're heading in. But if they have a, let me see here. I'll get back to that in a little bit. So we'll just go ahead and stick these on here, unless it's just easier to go ahead and just put WV, because it doesn't really matter exactly what's being carried anymore. And honestly, it might be just because it doesn't really matter what's in those cars at this point. Like, we already know that there's stuff in here, but it's bound for Pan Am, so it doesn't matter. And honestly, that might be easier. So let me go ahead and just change that. I'm sorry. I'm just going to go ahead and copy paste that, just to make my life a hell of a lot easier. That's essentially just what's happening here, is that, you know, these cars are they're all heading to the same place. You know, they've all been loaded up with what they need to be loaded up with, and now they're just heading to CSX. So these cars, however, they're going to go up towards Northern Main Junction. I don't know if we have any other... There's a logging camp down in... There's logging camps in Farmington. I don't know... exactly if they're thought out. It doesn't exactly say what's up there. Just trying to look and see exactly, you know, if there's anything that can be loaded with logs, which doesn't look like it. So those are just gonna be bound towards Farmington. We'll just say Farmington Lumber. So we'll just go Farmington Lumber Co. Farmington Lumber Co. That's just a stand-in right now. So because there's no industry tag for another lumber camp down that way, so we'll just send it down that way. These, however, they're going to go up towards these are going to go up the Abenaki towards Northern Main Junction, because we have main scrap metals. So we're gonna go main scrap metal, MSM. And these will ride back down. So pretty simple. Like I said, most everything is heading towards Waterville. There's no real need for it to go elsewhere. So it's pretty straightforward in how that works. It's just bound for interchange. So that is mostly what we needed to tackle there. So I can go ahead and just kill the car tags. Or actually, I guess we'll be using these a lot, so unfortunately you'll have to kind of bear with me here. So now we're going to go ahead, we're still waiting on the crews to get situated and get the train ready, so that train is not going to be heading out anytime soon. It'll probably be heading out within the next 20 or 30-ish minutes, so we'll have to kind of get the work done that we can and then let them kind of, get loaded up and then head out. Hey, Tobes. Oh, it's a man, and he's being a cat. I love that. So we're going to look here and see, what are we going to unhook, what needs to go where, and so on and so forth. So I know this is Rangeley logging, and then that's going to be Coburn lumber loadout. So these are, a string of log or log bulkheads, all Carrabassett cars, but they're going to be split up and go into two different locations. So Rangeley Logging Company, or they're situated just up on the old. Got a little heartburn. Jeez. Now I feel and sound old. If I click on the Bigelow, so Rangeley Logging, they have spots for 9 auto racks, logging racks. And they get about 4 per week. They don't load up fairly quickly and stuff like that. So I mean, these can get pretty much shoved way back into here. They don't need to go out right now because we actually, I believe these are coming from Rangeley Logging. Actually, that's Coburn loadout. We actually just had some, I believe, that left or whatnot. So they're not going to be heading out right away. So we can just pretty much shove them right back on the classification track, and we can at least get them situated to when they do need to go out. We can tackle that. Then of course, Coburn loadout. We do have some other cars that are bound for that general area. You have these two cars here, which are heading up towards Chain of Ponds, so they need to go up that way. And that's mostly what's going to be going up in that general direction. It's just those cars. I mean, there's not a ton that's going up that way, but it can be worked, so we can kind of get a small cut of that. I might even just put it on. I'm going to shove it back here. So just trying to plan out my moves because I don't want to be sitting here fumbling around trying to figure out exactly what we're going to be doing. So we'll go ahead and we'll latch onto this guy and we'll get going. So Coburn loadout goes to about here. Shut that bell off. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5 cars heading up that way, so that should be more than enough. So it's not a very, very big local that gets ran there anyhow, so it's not utterly pressing that it goes up immediately. But like I said, I will get that at least sorted out into how we need it to be. I'm going to reserve this bottom track here and or this just random track for the Sappy North America cars if we need to. Because we're going to have a lot of cars that are going to be heading up towards Sappy. That's the most we get. So, it's a fairly big local that goes up that way. That's going towards Jordan Lumber. I think I was reserving those for down here. I'm glad I got my game to run a little smoother, or a lot smoother than it was. It took a couple of computer restarts, doing a self-database repair for trains, initiating that myself, and then eventually just updating my graphics driver. So let's see, we're going to throw this in on this track. So again, sorry, it's more switching. You know, I know that's not terribly interesting to you guys. Maybe it is, and I don't know, but you know, I know it's the same thing that you already watched earlier and stuff like that, which is why this is Let's Operate the Carrabassett 13.3, because it's the same damn thing. It's nothing new to you guys, more or less. So, but I figure maybe be interesting for you to see exactly how operations work up here and so on and so forth. So. But before I get too lost in my own thoughts, if I could stop clicking on those. Alright. And eventually what's going to happen is, so we're going to get the cars kind of all set up into how they should be set up. You know, and put together, and then we're gonna stick them here in the local yard. So that way, when that local is ready to go, they can just run it. So we'll probably go ahead and block all the trains first, and then figure out, you know, or get all the trains set up that need to be set up, and then we'll kind of sit there and determine, okay, you know, what's going to be going out first. This Coburn loadout and the chain of ponds turn is probably not high priority right now. You know, they're probably going to go out sometime tomorrow or, you know, the next day, so these cars are going to get shoved all the way back, and, you know, we'll worry about it another day. So we're just shoving it back here on this classification track, and we're just going to park the cars and call it good. Of course, like I said, we have where it says CPT and CPB. Those are two cars bound for Chain of Ponds, the Mafka down there, which are essentially replacing that tanker and that reefer right there. So but I was talking with Sean tonight about the roster and kind of update you guys more on that. Wow, I had 4 viewers and they just dropped off like a rock. Jesus. Talking with Sean about the roster tonight, always a fun, riveting conversation. And I talked with him about the 70 ACUs and you know, possibly modernizing the roster, because we have quite a few trains on this roster that are relatively old. You know, we have, I think our oldest train's about 63-ish years old that's running around on the roster, and that's the SD24. And the SD24 is essentially a piece of shit. It's a hell locomotive. Behind that, we have some GP30Es that are running around that aren't much younger. They're slightly younger, but not by much. They're relatively old themselves, just running around. Granted, in limited service, but still, you know, they're running around and they're pretty damn old. So, in talking with Sean tonight, because we have the whole question of things on the roster that I didn't know were on the roster, like the GEC39 8E. I think I showed you guys, I might have just briefly plopped it in, not this afternoon's stream, but the, you know, last night's live stream when I was doing this and it crashed. Okay, just make sure. Alright, so I'll grab the RLL cars, back them up. I just clicked the wrong one. No, go forward. That's my bad. Oh, you suck. Okay, now we can go back. Beautiful. Alright. So looking at how this local works compared to specifically the Rangeley logging camp. So it's a very weird local because it's working both the old Rangeley secondary and the spur that goes down into Stratton Village, which I mean I guess makes sense, but it's kind of a pain in the ass because they have to jog over the tracks a couple of times and kind of maneuver around in a very funky way. If they're servicing all the industries at once, which I mean, they might not be if I could spit that out in English. But given that we're going to have center beams heading down there, and we have logging cars already for Rangeley lumber, it's likely they're going to have to do some weird maneuvers. Just to get over there, and if there's any cars bound for Dead River Oil, then we already got that to contend with. So these cars I'm going to throw here on probably track 1, just because we have that switch in the way, so can't really get a long cut of cars in there. And if maybe we can foul the switch, because again, there's really not a lot of use for me and that switch. I wish I could also stop yawning. Fucking switch. There we go. So yeah, so it's quite a few cars that are just gonna need to get swapped around and stuff like that. It's a weird local to be ran. SLC, that's gonna be Stratton Lumber center beam. So in theory, those probably could have actually stayed on the log cars. Actually, doesn't really matter. Not the brake. There we go. Sorry again, I'm just trying to exactly figure out what my moves are, because I've never switched like this. I always just go, oh, this car, and I don't have tags, so this is just a little new to me, so I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. My beacon's not on. Unacceptable. There you go. Leave that running. Then of course we got to get these wood chip cars out of the local yard. We'll probably replace them on this runaround track here. We'll just kind of wait for the mechanic bound train to come along. these center beams will have to go on the track over here with the Rangeley logging cars, which we could probably just go ahead and grab now. We'll have to kind of go ahead and just quickly relabel them, so it's going to be SLC and SLC, I believe it is. SLC, SLC, works for me. So we'll grab those. A little quicker than I want. A little more. Beautiful. So I did watch the playback a little bit on some of my streams to see how the audio was, and the volume for the engines was way too quiet, in my opinion. So I did turn it up a little bit. Maybe you guys can actually hear the engines this time, so please let me know. I also got those signals back in. I just replaced them. Even though they're already kind of showing on the map, at least they'll at least be there this time and actually functioning. So they're back in, and replaced them to the best of my knowledge. So at least I know those signals are correct. The other ones at the other end of the yard I'm not entirely sure on, but it's gonna have to be what it is at this point, so. But anyways, so in talking with Sean about the roster tonight, like I said, it was discussed the aging power on the roster, and also models that we wanted but don't have an actual replacement for, or have an actual model for, or can't get our hands on it, or whatever. And so in talking with him, it was discussed that the ACUs would be the best route to go. You know, it's kind of the quote-unquote modernization plan of the railroad. We would have picked them up about 3 years ago from CP, or at least gotten ours. I think Sean said from UP would have at least had ours rebuilt in by CP, at least to their spec, and a CP model already exists. So he spoke with Audie, but I guess Audie broke his arm. So so it's going to be a little bit, but he did at least get the ball rolling on that, so it did get discussed about having a Carrabassett ST70 ACU heading onto the route, which essentially would be kind of taking over the role of the C39-8E, the C30 Super, hello Toby, the C30 Super 7s, as well as the M6 something, 630 W with an MLW, which I've plopped in, which, you know, it's a nice unit, and I might run it. Oh, it's Toby. Toby, I can't pet you, buddy. I'm approaching some center beams. Oh, he is a cat, though. He must be pet. I got to butt. A little more. Alright, Tobes. Oh, come on, just coast, 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 coast. Ah, that was beautiful. Alright, so what are we grabbing here? So everything in this tank, and then we'll work on the next ones over, or after that. So we're going to grab this. It's just taking little cuts at a time and just slowly plucking away at what we need, so... Like I said, these two cars are just going to get attached to those bulkheads there, and then they're just going to kind of get pulled out whenever that local is ready to be ran. It's probably not going to be ready for at least another day or two, but the cars are here for when they need to go. These center beams here are going to get just slapped on these bulkheads here, and then they'll be pulled into the local yard shortly. Or at least once the switching is all done. The two locals that I want to get ready to go is going to be the Sappy North America, as well as the Kingfield turn. I think the one we will stream first, which will take some time, because I've done it before, and it's a pretty lengthy local to be ran. But the first local that needs to get run is the Kingfield turn. So the Kingfield turn will be first on our list of locals to run. And then once that is all complete, then I will go ahead and run the Sappy North America paper mill. And then after that, we'll go ahead and just do the quick run up to Coburn loadout and the Mafka. And the Mafka will be pretty simple. I think that's just a... we might service it on the way by heading to Coburn, so that way we can run around the train at least once we get up to Coburn loadout. Either that or we just... We'll figure it out. I don't know exactly how it's supposed to be ran. I am going to try and run the Kingfield turn exactly how it's supposed to be ran, according to the documentation, and how Mal kind of typed it out. So that way we can have a accurate representation of how that's supposed to be ran with the cars that we will have. I think just about every industry on the line or on that branch should have something to be serviced. We could probably kick these realistically. That's a long way for it to travel, so... yeah, we'll just send them down. It's my luck, they'll roll like halfway down and then stop, so... I guess in theory, track 3 up here could have been also occupied by these cars. I probably could have parked them a little closer, and I might grab them and do that so we can reserve these two bottom tracks, tracks 1 and 2, for Sappy North America, as well as the Kingfield turn. I have therapy tomorrow. Crap. That's right, I just forgot about that. So I gotta be up before noon. It's been a big struggle lately, even when I don't stay up late. Like, I went to bed the other day, I think around 1, 2 o'clock, and I didn't wake up till almost 2 o'clock the next day. It's like, if you ever need a poster child for being depressed. Alright, we're just gonna kick these. Close enough. There. Handbrake set. So I don't think there's anything else bound for that end of the line, so we'll go ahead and grab those cars and move them over onto track 3. So I don't think we're going to need to really put anything else on that track, because everything else is either bound for Sappy or Kingfield at this point. These were kind of our 2 one-offs, and I think there'll be more cars coming up that'll be that will be destined for other industries. Like I think we got some Dead River cars coming up for Dead River Oil. Yeah, we got some cars for Rangeley, or I'm sorry, Dead River Heating Oil, and then we have some more for Coburn Loadout. Might have one for Arnold Lumber, which is just a single 73-foot center beam. So, just looking at my list there. Hi, Tobes. Oh, you are a cat. Hello. What a guy. What's on your tail, sir? Push. Hello. What a man. Toby, please stop. Or just ignore me, that's fine. Like, fucking Christ. Enough out of you. Quit knocking my shit over. God damn it. Like the 9th time today. And he's never bothered with it. Something smells good. Making me really hungry now. Oh, suck me smooth. Ah. There we go. Alright, and we'll reverse. Take these out of here. So we should be getting the power for the outbound at least situated onto that train here very shortly. And the helper units are going to go. Just because I think it would... I don't really think they need them, but... yeah, it's only a 3,839 ton train. It's only 2,831 feet. So realistically, I think they get... What are you meowing at? Enough out of you. No, you're now a lap cat, so get up here and enjoy it. You want to meow at me? Come here. No. Alright. God damn it, Toby. No, that was wet. What was that? Anyone want a cat? Because he's being a little shit tonight. Don't you have something to do? Besides be a little turd. Anyways, getting that mainline power. I think... I hate to do it, but I think it's just going to be those 4 engines there. I think that should be more than enough for that, and the helpers will stay behind. Not every train needs them, but they are certainly helpful, hence the word helpers. Just love the multitude of colors. So I think all these center beams, albeit these two, are different colors. It's quite a colorful consist. I like that. It's just visually pleasing. I like that. That's actually quite kind of nice. The question is, will this be long enough? So I forget how long these 73 foots are. Or, I mean, I know they're 73 feet, it's just I forget that they are a little bit long. Such an odd length, too, 73 feet. You know, you have 50 and 40 and 60 for boxcars, but then, like, you have 52-foot bulkheads, 52-foot, you know, open gonds, and then you have 53-foot well cars, and 62-foot bulkheads, and it's like 73-foot center beams, 89-foot auto racks. Who made the lengths of these things? What drugs were they smoking? Anyhow. So those are all set for now. Now we can start working on the bulk of the consist. Which, well, that is reversing. So just looking at it, so our first few cars are bound for Sappy. Behind that is the Carrabassett or the team track for garbage. Behind that we have Poland Spring Bottling, Kingfield Mafka tanks, Kingfield Mafka. What, Toby? What are you getting into? Because you're getting into something, and that's why you're like this. So a lot of these cars from here up to KN, up to where it says SCB, those are all for the Kingfield turn. I mean, we can just pull them out. I mean, we can appropriately block them, but for now we can just kind of at least get them pulled out and sorted. And I know there's a way to block it, and Mal has put it in the document how to properly block that train. So we can do that. But that's not until we're at least getting that ready over here. We're just pulling it out, at least getting it set up to where, you know, they're sorted into their appropriate lineups, and then we can go ahead and switch them around and get them all sorted to where they need to be. The Sappy cards don't really matter because there's a yard up there anyways, so it's just get them in the, you know, get them all in there and then ready to go. Whereas these locals matter to be blocked in a specific way so they can be worked appropriately to where they're heading. So you can just go ahead and work them. Whereas where these cars are heading up to the paper mill, they have a yard, so it doesn't matter. You know, crews up there will sort them out. It's pretty simple anyways. Paper mill's really not that hard to work. so it shouldn't matter too much. I am probably gonna drag this. What's on the main line? What? Where are you heading? Why are you heading? What are you doing? Oh no! Oh, I put the wrong siding. Oh no! Well, there he goes. Oh, I put the wrong siding in. I just looked up and saw the cars. I'm like, what? Oh no. Stop the train. I was like, what in the hell is he doing? Wow, he's gone 213 miles. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. So let's just remove that. We're gonna go wait for 2 minutes. Drive via track mark, Bigelow. Ah. Chain of Ponds, main south. Because now I have to put that back in. Drive via track mark, Bigelow, Chain of Ponds, main north, because it will get confused. South, north. Okay. And now that I have to put it in, though, Bigelow, it's going to be Flagstaff Yard, Main, north, if it would actually do it. That was so confusing. Like, why is there a train or what car's on the line there? Like, why is that a thing? So perplexing. It's a problem when you have too many track markers and some of them start with the same letter. Well, I guess you get to see the Pine Liner again on its way by. So that's earlier when the door was open. They realized, oh hey, we lost someone. There, he's getting some good speed now, so hopefully he'll be alright. Perfect. Again, I'm so confused. I'm like, what the hell is that? Alright, so we're probably just going to pull the whole consist back so we're not coming all the way down here. So we'll go ahead and reverse. The little Jeeps are doing it. It's not that big of a train. So I will take, in the grand scheme of things, I will take up to about, well, I'll take this cut here. So we can just get the Kingfield stuff out of the way. Like I said, I'll block it more appropriately after. Just we got to get it out of the way, and then once we get that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and hook up the power to this consist and at least get it starting, or at least get it started to get out of here. Because the new crew's probably climbing aboard that locomotive and getting ready, and they'll probably want to be getting out of here pretty soon. I can just turn these car tags off. I don't need them anymore. There we go. Alright, that's good. A lot of difference in performance now that it's no longer pulling a whole consist. So we'll shove the Kingfield cars onto track 1. I suppose that's track 2. That's track 1. We're not going to be doing 10 miles an hour. Happy that I'm no longer seeing a train reversing back down the track, although we do have, well, we hopefully will at some point have cab cars. As much as I'd love some F40 NPCUs. I realize why they call them cabbages. The NPCUs. It's a cab car, it's also a baggage car. Oh well. I guess a commissary car. I have no clue what it's called, but I guess that's kind of why they call it that, I suppose. Alright. That is shoving forward. charging up the brakes a little bit. Back up, right? Yeah, I should. Let me just throw that just on the off chance I don't, because I might, but I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, I will. Just seeing how quickly I can annoy myself and my viewers. The answer is very quickly. Listen to all those prime movers spool up like that. let them get themselves situated, and we'll press on. Alright, so now it's mostly, I mean, it's predominantly sappy North America cars. There are some Kingfield cars mixed in there somewhere, which I will take a look here in a second once we get up there. Just gonna plot out our next move, which is gonna be just really realistically going between these two tracks, then just using this overflow if we need be. Ugh. Oh, I'm tired. What the hell? Alright, so let's see. So, pretty much this whole string here is for sappy Chain of Ponds box. So we have two Valley Gas and Oil. We got Jordan Lumber. And these string of cars here are bound for sappy. Have another Valley Gas and Oil. Have the gondolas for Arc Enterprises. Then we have the Argon tanker and another Jordan Lumber. So they're all kind of mixed in there pretty thoroughly. So what I will do, just to begin with, is I'll probably take... I'm going to back this up some. There's my cat somewhere. What you doing, buddy? See, look, when you don't yowl for attention, you actually get some. Oh, he's a guy. What a guy. No, 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 no's. No, 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 no's. Of course, think how we're setting this train up. It's gonna have to get changed around because we got empties up front, loads in the back. So we'll have to kind of get that rearranged to where it's the other way around, because I predominantly want the loads up front and the empties in the back, so we don't break any knuckles. Oh, it's a guy. now we have all the Kingfield, but those are all empty. And all the Kingfield loads are pretty much up here, because anything past those box cars are loaded. I don't think it matters too much for the Kingfield turn, because it'll already be pretty much set up how we need it to be, in terms of, you know, load v empty. Although it's blocked a little weirdly, so I don't think it particularly matters, just because of how it's going to be blocked, so I don't know. I've always known, like, you put the loads up front, you leave the empties in the back, so... Go ahead and throw the brakes on. We'll throw this up on track 2. Do you think we'll end up needing more room on track 2, which, hello, we're going a little fast. There we go. There we go. What are you doing back there, you crazy cat? Oh, Kimmy. so the sappy cars, or the boxes, are set out anyways. We still, of course, have... Like I said, realistically, they should have blocked the train better in North Anson, but that was just their laziness, so that just gives us a little more work to do here of just sorting it out as it is. You know, because realistically it should have been, you know, the different components of the train set up to where we can just pull, okay, here's a cut, you know, that's going on this local, and here's the cut going on this local. Instead, it gives us a little bit of work to do, and not everything's perfect. A perfect crew would have sat there and gone, okay, you know, this is how the train needs to be assembled, send it up over the hump. You know, ideally anyways, it's how it gets set up, but I guess, you know, not particularly how it works, I suppose. So it just gives us work here to flat switch it out, and, you know, call it a day. Excuse me. What? Why are you meowing at me so much? You don't be meowing this much. What seems to be your problem, sir? What is ailing you? You made me blow past my switch. So I know the next cut of cars will be for the Keenfield turn. Just lay down. If you get in this thing where you go start waking me up and stuff like that because you want attention, we're gonna have a lot of problems, buddy. Say, Mike, are these fans broken? I haven't really seen those exhaust fans turn on in a while. I'm starting to wonder. Alright, let's see here. So... we'll grab up to here, and then we'll go ahead and... that's rolling backwards. We'll go ahead and throw a fret on the rear end of this train. Because once we get cleared past them, we're going to go ahead and dispatch them out of here. At least to the Kingfield siding, because, like I said, beyond that, I don't have the other train out of the way, and I need to get him figured out just so I can plop him over in Farmington. Probably manually drive him with a time warp on, or whatever you call that. That's developer mode, I think it is. So actually the two cars that I want up on the front of this local are right there, but again, we will switch those around. We'll get it set up appropriately and stuff like that. We will get it all done up the way it needs to be done up, just not right now. So right now is just switching the cars out to just get them sorted into their respective consists, and then we can worry about blocking them. Smash. I feel like we need a picture of this real quick. Let me grab the flying cam and we can make that happen. Let's see. This way, please. Maybe not from that angle, just because the lacking of trees up on the ridge. There, that actually looks kind of nice. Make sure I actually took the photo, because it's been known a time or two to do that, or not do that. Screenshots. There it is. Perfect. That's all I wanted. No, it takes time out of what we're doing, but I just wanted a nice screenshot. Ooh, we're going a little too quick. Let's jam on the brakes. Sorry, I was trying to see exactly what's being moved, how far, where, and so on and so forth. Don't have much more room to play here with the sappy cars. We do have a third track to utilize, or a fourth track to utilize. And we'll get one more photo, kind of over here. So let me just back it up here. So much. That's a good one right there. That's a good occupied yard. Very nice. Gotta make sure it got it, because I've taken screenshots before and it never captured them. Beautiful. Alright, I promise it's the last screenshot I'll take. I just do like me a busy yard. Alright, we'll disconnect these. Once I get these into the track, we'll go ahead and get him out of here. I was gonna step out on a limb and say that track's pretty much just about full, so we could probably get a few more cars in there. Not much else. Did I not throw that switch? Could have swore I did. Oh no. I'm on the wrong switch. Yeah, let's get off that switch real quick. I fucked up. Glad that actually didn't go the way I thought it was gonna go. Could have ended a lot worse. Huh. Did I accidentally throw that switch and not even realize it? I probably did. I mean, obviously I did, because I'm the only one that can operate this route, but I threw that switch at some point and didn't even realize it, and then just rolled right over it. I'm about to see that in the replay and just... That's crazy. I can't believe I did that. I'm just glad nothing derailed, because that would have really ruined my night. Alright, take two. I'm so concerned with multiple moves and stuff like that that not paying attention. Plus I'm starting to get hungry and it's 3:43 in the morning, so we still got some room on this track. So let him come to a stop, and we're going to get him out of here. Carrabassett, Main, south, and we'll drive to track mark Bigelow, Kingfield, siding south. Come back. Okay. I actually might take this train out of here. Just because I don't want it to speed through the yard. So we'll get him at least going out of here under my control. Yeah, see, the 4 engines up front is going to be more than enough. So he's cleared out of here to head south, out onto the main. Please go off. just go ahead and tell him to continue to run the schedule, because I no longer care how fast he goes. And that'll be that. It's funny how empty the yard looks now. So, alright, we'll go ahead and now that train is gone. Don't have to worry about him. He's out of the way. He's gone. He's vamoosed. He's left. But I will go ahead and close up the. Oh yeah, speeding right out of here. He wouldn't be doing 35 until he hits the bridge, but just because I had to replop him in and stuff like that, he didn't have the yard speed limit set up yet. So, but that's fine. It is what it is. I'm not too concerned. So all we have left to work with is that kind of cars right there. So we'll just drag them out and work with them as we can. Except we're getting full on the sappy track, so we can make use of this third track here. It just looks oddly empty now. It's so kind of strange. But we'll have a train up here soon enough anyhow, so. Well, that's kind of how this yard works. It goes from looking pretty full to then looking pretty empty, and then once the locals start running, I will need to get some other 4-axle power up here. Just so we can kind of get stuff done. But once the locals start running, the yard will kind of look a little more desolate until they return. Should have enough room to, because we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars left to throw on the sappy track, which we might be a little tight. It might be a little tight. Maybe. It's going to be close, that's all I can say. It should be fine, but we'll wait and see. Then once I get those cars in, go ahead and wrap it up so I can go cook a little something for supper and then go to bed. So these first 3 cars will go up to Sappy. The next one behind is going to go to Valley Gas and Oil. Then we got Sappy, Jordan Lumber, the Argon tank for Arc Enterprises, and then 2 more woodchip cars for Sappy. And that will be a wrap. Excuse me. It was taking about 2 hours to switch out the rest of this, to get this train broken down, so it took about 2 hours to get the local all assembled, or get the outbound train assembled, and it's taken about 2 hours to get this train disassembled. So total about 4 hours worth of work. That's really not bad. Then it takes a few more hours to go run the local. I'm sure it's going to take another hour or 2 to sort these all out, block the trains appropriately, and then another few hours to run the locals. So, I mean, hours upon hours upon hours of just fun you could have, or not. I mean, unless you don't find this fun, then again, why are you playing it if you don't find it fun? But I guess that's half of us. I don't suppose many of us find this enjoyable. We do it because we feel like we're tied to the machine and the system. Just trying to think how much space I'm gonna have on this track. So it's gonna be real tight. Getting drug along. Just stop. There you go. Alright, gotta disconnect these, shove these, and then disconnect those, and I feel like we're just gonna be able to fit these Omnia tank cars onto here. And that'll be it. That's gonna be it. I don't think the other two are gonna fit on there, so we can certainly try. No one ever said there was harm in trying. But I just get the feeling they're not gonna fit. So maybe if these were appropriately their 40-foot counterparts, that or actually I don't know how long these tank cars are. If they were the actual proper, 40-foot funnel flows, then maybe. But hey, we take what we can get. They're Omnia tank cars. And shove. It's gonna be close. I have no clue. Let's see. Oh, we could maybe just fit them. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try. Said NS before another derailment. Sakes, these two cars aren't terribly long, so we could probably get away with it. I think we'll just be golden, which would be amazing if we can. I'll eat my whole shoe if we do fit. I'm not actually going to eat my whole shoe. Please don't hold me accountable for that. I say a lot of things out of the heat of the moment. Clearly. Oh, you are still a cat. Hello, sir. Thank you for behaving. You're not being a little shit stain the whole night. Smash. I wonder if it's all gonna fit here right before the switch. Just a curiosity. Nope. That's fine. Like I said, we're not really using that switch or anything, so... That also would have been nice too if that would have fit, but... Like I said, we're not really using that switch for anything, so we'll just kind of push past it. And if we could just get this consist to stop. There. And last but not least... these two cars. I am very curious to see how this is going to work, because we got about, give or take, 100 feet behind us, or 100 feet in front of us, so, and this is already 1447. And if I'm not mistaken, this track is probably in the 1500s somewhere. Flagstaff yard, open in browser. No, can I get that in browser, please? That's about 1550, so we're going to be real close on this. So let's go, oh wait, hey. Back. Gonna be real close. Because this is the longest track that we have, technically speaking. So... the other two are... I think this is about 1500 and this is about 1040 because of the switch. Alright, moment of truth. Here we go. Oh, it's gonna be so close. Ever so slowly. Alright, let's see. I'm curious. Oh my god. Does that fit? It's really tight, but I think it fits. That's a little close for comfort. I could probably sneak a little further back over here. Just a little bit. Just a skosh. Just to get a little extra clearance, that's all. Right there. And that's all we're gonna give it. I'll be damned. I can't believe everything freaking fit. That's incredible. That is freaking incredible. Well, I am quite happy with that. Now that is the whole train broken down and sorted into its respective locals, more or less. Um, Again, I'm not entirely sure if this is what the classification track is used for, but it is now. So um, now, of course, what we need to do is the sappy local doesn't really need to be broken down, like I stated. There's no real reason to, because it's just going to go up there. They're going to put it into the yard. They can sort it out how they need it up there. I mean, we could arrange it a little better, um, just so it's not a pain in the butt to take apart. Because you have slurry cars here and you have slurry cars here, but predominantly it's really not that bad because you got all your boxes here, you got your wood chips in the middle, you got a couple wood chip stragglers out back, but your slurry cars, I mean, they can take care of that up there. It's no big deal. The one that is going to have to get situated more appropriately is the Kingfield turn, because the Kingfield turn is assembled basically as such. Um, so it's blocked south to north, because it's a south, south, or it's heading south. So you have the power leading, and then you have, and technically this is how the whole train is run. You have CBB, CBG. So if you have anything that's bound for the transload, the team track at the Carrabassett transfer station, then you have that up first, and then you have the gondolas for trash second. So in this case, we're going to put the gondolas first because we're just literally dropping them and then leaving, and then we'll work it on the way back. After that, you have the 73-foot center beams for Jordan Lumber, so you have JLC. So those will be blocked technically second in our consist. I know we have a KMB and a KMT, so the reefer will go third, and then the two tank cars will go fourth in the block. Then we have PSB, Poland Spring Bottles, so those string of boxcars for Poland Spring Bottle will go fifth. I know we have KVG, which is Valley Gas and Oil, so those will go sixth in the consist, those four tanks. And on the way back, I think we have some boxcars for New England Wire, so those will go seventh. And then KAU and KAT, so the 52-foot CN Gons will go eighth, and then the Argon tanker will be last in the consist. So that'll be trailing in the rear, and then that'll get dropped off. And essentially, we work the local in the way it's set up. So, so these two Gons will be first. Then we're gonna go. I think it was Jordan Lumber. I said. Yep. So to go the two center beams. Then we'll do the reefer, the two tanks. After that, it'll be Poland Spring Bottle, so I think it's this cut of box cars right here. I think these are for... Do I have cars for New England Wire? I don't know if I do. Yes, I do. So it'll be these four box cars for Poland Spring, and then these two for New England Wire. That'll get dropped off after that. Or I believe... No, New England Wire is after Valley Gas and Oil, so then it'll go Valley Gas and Oil, New England Wire, and then it'll go those two, and this tank car right there full of argon gas for the welders, and so on and so forth. So it'll just be a lot of just jostling those around and rearranging it, because I mean, we realistically have to basically throw this whole train around and then drag it off over into here and then get it ready to go, because the local track, that's where the local stuff goes. So it'll be kind of just transferring stuff around as need be, because I believe we have a local inbound. I don't know if we have a local inbound. I don't believe we will, so I'll just be kind of taking the stuff from the classification yard and then pulling it over into the local side of the yard as need be when we need to go in and do stuff. So, but first up is the Kingfield turn, which will be what we do next. And while we're assembling that, we are expecting a train northbound from North Anson, heading towards Lochmagantic. It'll stop here, drop off some more cars that we'll have to sort out. Maybe some more. There might be some more sappy cars. There might be some more cars for the local area. We're kind of all set on the Kingfield turn. I don't think we have anything that needs to be brought down to Kingfield at this point. There might be stuff for the Carrabassett transfer or the Carrabassett team track. There could be stuff bound for the Kibby Wind Farm project, which is kind of a as-need-be dealio, because we were busy when we had the windmill blades going up there, but now that the windmills are all set, or the wind turbines are all set, we don't really need to bring anything up there. So yeah, so that is kind of how things are going to be set up, or we will have that happening while we're kind of setting things up. So we'll be expecting that train, and he pretty much will have clear entry into the yard. I think I'm going to have to go ahead and put track markers down so I can get a train to just drive into the yard. So he'll be cleared into the yard, so we'll have to keep our ears open to the radio and hear when he is clear to come in. Because then that'll kind of give us our, that we'll be told to kind of halt our procedures if we're going to be in the way, depending on where we are, because sorting this hodgepodge of cars out, we're going to be working between this track here and the track we're currently on. And then we have to get this cut of cars. I mean, we don't have to do anything with it right now, but ideally I'd like to move it to this track right here, just so we know that those cars are getting set out for the northbound to Lochmagantic, and that Lochmagantic train will arrive here. And it is the arrival track, but because the train's going to be departing quickly, it's literally just dropping, picking up, and then not too long after, it's leaving. But once that happens, we'll go ahead and just take the cars off that we need. They're going to be at the rear of the train, and then everything else is just bound for Lochmagantic. It's just bound for transfer with CP. So unless there are any cars that are getting off and going to the local industries up there, but I've rambled on enough. So next stream, like I said, we will go ahead and get that, and then if we have time, we'll start running the local down. But other than that, at least two more stream, one more stream before we get going, and then the next stream after that, we will begin the run down to Kingfield to begin the Kingfield turn. I'm just going to keep streaming until basically we get these cars all worked, and then, then we'll go ahead and get the next day's train up here, pick up the cars that we just worked, bring in the next set. So that's kind of how this works. So yeah, so I'm excited. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I will not be streaming tomorrow afternoon. I have therapy, and then I want to get some personal stuff done. I might go out and get some food just before I got to run off to work, and maybe wash my car as well. So I will not be streaming tomorrow afternoon. I will be streaming tomorrow night, and I will probably also stream Saturday afternoon when I get up before I go to work. And then Saturday when I come home, you guys really realistically won't hear from me until probably Tuesday, because once I wake up Saturday, I don't go to bed until Sunday night, and then I work out a double all day Monday, 9 a.m. to midnight, so can't really do much Carrabassetting while I'm at work, paying attention to security cameras. So anyways, I will talk to you guys in the next one. I will see you then. Thanks.